Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome in to yet another JuvEssential at kind of a messed up time. We did warn you to stay tuned on the last show, the watch along against Real Madrid. So yeah, sorry for the inconsistency, but thank you everyone who is joining us in today. Please, before we get underway here, please like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is on whichever platform you are watching. Just give it the thumbs up, all the jazz. Links down in the description. Instagram, Twitter, Spotify. This episode will go on Spotify afterwards. X, Discord, everything. Got everything. Let's go down there. So as you can see, I am solo again. Unfortunately, German Dave, bit of a bug, feeling well. Dash is away on business. So yeah, I'm gonna monologue a little bit tonight. Tether, as you can see by the thumbnail you clicked on there, it's becoming more and more of a thing, which isn't surprising. So on November 7th it's the board of directors meeting. This is when they finalize the board, the finances, all the boardroom dealings, if you will. So if you haven't heard yet, this is probably over a week now. We mentioned it on the last show. Heather's ownership in Juventus is 11.5%. So let me just bring it back. Let's bring it back to basics real quickly. We've gone on this on nauseum. You want more? I mean, that's what the Discord's for. If you have more questions or the comments down in YouTube, please do ask if you need elaboration on any of this. It is a little confusing, a little messy. We're going to try to break it down. But essentially, Juve is a publicly traded company. And as such, as a major shareholder, which Heather is 11.5%, they have essentially the right to submit names to be voted onto the board of directors. So why do we even care? I think this is a perfect time, actually, to talk about this, in that the club is in turmoil once again. We know that. I think we all know that as fans right now. We, at least here on the channel, have kind of always looked upwards. It's everyone's fault at everyone's level. You know, even the social media guy who, I mean, there's a new one. The other guy quit last year. But you know, there's all this changeover. And it affects the club as a whole. And there is my camera. Of course, I'm still having camera issues. I thought I fixed her again. This is ridiculous. So I'm sorry. I'll get up some graphics. I for sure need to buy new cables. I'm pretty sure, because that ever since I put the new cable on, that's the issue. But regardless, let's get back to it. Yeah. So Tether, they want to get their stake in. They want to have some control of this club. Why? Because Arduino, the owner, Paolo Arduino, he is the CEO of Tether. He is a Juventus fan. As a fan, as a filthy rich fan, he wants some say, as we all kind of do. That's why we have a YouTube channel. That's why people have Twitter accounts. All this, like, as fans, we want to have our say in things. So, okay, got my camera back at least this time. What's happening then? Exor. Okay, so who owns the rest of it? I mean, people like Sal, followers, they get minor shares. They own a few bucks here and there. But Exor, John Elkin, and Exor, the company, they basically have the controlling rights of Juventus, and they have passed on from the Agnelli. Well, I mean, Elkin is part of the Agnelli dynasty, right? Just not by name. This is turning into a bit of a cockfight. The old guard does not want any newfangled, just anybody. They don't want anybody else new. They want to maintain all the control. Now, this is something that you get into when you are a publicly traded company. You can't necessarily avoid this. This is what a hostile takeover. Now, okay, he's trying not to be hostile. He's trying to do this above board and get the votes and whatnot. He's submitted 2 names, but I mean, this is just This is classic business, right? They don't want the new blood in because that takes away their power. People in these positions want the money, they want the power, they want it all to themselves. They want to keep it in the family. And Juve has been, for the most part, a family-run business because they've owned the majority of the shares. I mean, that's why. Once they went public, and they were the majority owners. They were the owners. They were the private company. Then they went public. Obviously, they dish out shares here and there, but they have the controlling stake in the company still. And now that is being eroded. They should have perhaps expected this to happen at some point. Maybe they didn't think anybody would invest that much money into their club, which what does that say? You don't really put much faith in your own club, in that you just don't think anybody else cares to put enough money into it. I don't know. It's a little naive. So here, I'll bring some media up here so you don't just have to stare at me. So here he is. This is the man, Paolo Arduino. As a fan of Juventus, I would like to purchase the club, but you can't be a buyer without a seller. So it's not in the plan. This comes, we'll bring it up. Comes from Bloomberg. Sal, again, because he is a shareholder. He's our financial guy. If you haven't seen Financial Report with me and Sal, go check it out. Very insightful. Why don't I just bring up I'll bring up the Discord, because I don't have the Bloomberg article. It's a paywall. So Sal has graciously, actually, I'm just going to put in a Word document. That'll be easier. And this was like an hour, just as I made, and this is what's actually funny about this right now, is I just posted up the show, about 70, 80 minutes before I went live. Got everything ready. And then Sal posts this in the Discord right after. And I'm like, well, I mean, that's very convenient timing. Unfortunately, I wish I got it a little bit earlier. Would have had a little bit more time to prepare this all for you. But this is going to be a wall of text. It is a Bloomberg article, just in a Word document. That's a proper size for you as well. Okay. So what that came right from the bottom right here, this quote. But if we don't have any plans to do that, and you also need a seller for that. That's the actual quote. Let's scroll up to the top. There are many funds and tech funds that have in their portfolio many companies that could use part of our technology and other offerings that we have. It's about synergy and creating bigger impact, Arduino said, who asked which type of investor he'd be interested in bringing on board. He didn't disclose any prospective investors. We have a 99% profit, he added. There's no other company in the world that has that. Tether doesn't disclose. And this continues. I don't want to bore you with this. I actually have a TLDR. I want to prove that we have like an actual article here, right? We have sources. Bloomberg. TLDR, ChatGPT gave this to me. So, I mean, subject to ChatGPT. Okay. Tether expects around 15 billion profit in 2025, driven by high interest income on its reserves. The firm could soon be valued at 500 billion if it raises 20 billion or a 3% stake, making it one of the most valuable private companies globally. Tether controls around 6% of the stablecoin market, with 183 billion USDT in circulation. That is I looked it up. I have a TLDR on that as well. If we want to get into it, let me know. It's getting a little nerdy at this point. But it's essentially, it's the stablecoin. It's the crypto stablecoin, USDT, what it's called. And it's at a 1-to-1 ratio with the US dollar. CEO Paolo Arduino says profit margin 99%, and numerous big investors like SoftBank and ARK Invest are showing interest. Tether plans to return to the US with a new stablecoin project called USAT, aligned with Trump's pro-crypto stance. All right. What does this say? Okay. Basically, this is an article. This isn't actually Juve related per se. But, I mean, he's got 15 billion in profit just this year and can soon be valued at 500 billion. If this guy wants to own all of Juventus, he can do that. He can actually make a hostile or perform a hostile takeover. I'm going to look up the value of Juve right now. I think it's 1.1 billion. I will fact check myself right here. 1.22 billion US. Okay. And he's from Torino. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for adding that. I mean, that's why he is a Juve fan, right? Why? Why is he a Juve fan? Well, he's from there. So 1.2 billion Juve's worth. Now, how much is Exor worth? We looked that up in the past too, but currently, okay, market capitalization 16 billion. And you know what? Why don't I just share? Get the numbers, get the visuals. So the market capitalization is 16 billion, and they're trading at 76 and 95. Actually, they dipped up. They're being up and down. Let's look at the actual past month. Yeah, past month. Not been looking good here. You know, they're devaluing a little bit. Whereas Tether is on the up and up. So let's just put Tether worth in here. 1 month, a little bit more stable. Okay, they had their one dip, roughly stable over the year. Over 5 years, slightly positive. And that's the thing, like they don't have much overhead. He's saying he's got 99%. Where was that again? 99% return on the investment, something like that. So, like, even though these are small numbers, small valuations over time, that's mostly just profit. And if he's going to be worth $500 billion, that's a whole lot more than 16. I mean, Tether could technically, at that point, buy Exor. Forget Juve. They can buy Exor, which includes, I mean, Ferrari, Juventus, Iveco, New Hollands. And there's a whole portfolio, whole portfolio of companies in there. Not to say this is happening. I'm just trying to exemplify how much buying power potentially Tether has. Now, Eddie's coming in here, bring it on. It's time for change in ownership. So this is coming at a time as well where John Elkann is not the most popular guy in terms of the fans out there, right? Whether they are Ferrari fans or Juventus fans. I mean, when you own the two biggest teams in Italy, and historically, they were the most winningest teams in their field. And for the past, and I know this sounds crazy, it's really only been about 6 years or so. But it keeps on getting worse and worse, and it's a bad trajectory. And when you're one of the two teams that owns your own stadium, you are publicly traded like this by a billionaire owner, you do expect more. You do expect more. So bring up X again. All right. Okay, this is 2 hours ago. Tether are now a 15% shareholder in Juventus. Okay, so I stand corrected live here. This was not what I expected to pop up here. I think this was one of the other posts, but because yes, all right. This is the post it was originally. Juventus is experiencing corporate turbulence ahead of the November 7th shareholder meeting due to a dispute between XR and Tether. Tether requested that the extraordinary session of the meeting, which is concerning a 10% capital increase, and brought new agenda items forward, including preemptive rights for current shareholders, determination of issue price and number of shares, amendments to the company bylaws to ensure greater representation for minority shareholders. The board chairman, who's no longer there, Gianluca Ferrero, formally accepted the proposed additions to the agenda but invited shareholders to vote against such changes. I don't think he was not allowed to bring that to a vote, because that's what it is. It comes to a vote. So he can't say no to that, but he can then come and encourage everyone to vote against it. So this is very classic. Somebody wants to come in, create more transparency, create more equalization, try to shake the things up because it's run by the old guard, and he is getting pushed back. And now this is where it gets tricky, right? So now he owns 15%, according to Calcio Finanza here, which is massive, honestly, at this point. He keeps on adding a bit more and a bit more and a bit more, and he's chipping away. And part of it is likely because he's a smart businessman and he's not going to dump just billions forward all at once. He gets a few more billion this month, and he's going to spend a few more million over here, perhaps. Okay. But I think he's also starting to realize that because the board is not playing ball, that he is going to continue to ramp up the pressure here, continue to buy more shares, and eventually, if he owns 51% of Juve, which is going to be about $600 million worth, US dollars, that is, which I'm pretty sure this guy, if he made $15 billion, or his company made $15 billion, he can afford, let's say, $650 million to get 51% majority control of Juve. At that point, because he would have 51% of the vote at the board, like there wouldn't be anything that is the hostile takeover. That is what could come of it. The big question now I have to kind of present to everyone: do we even want this guy here in the first place? So yeah, Eddie, you're saying, it's time for a change. That could be true. It is true. It is time for a change. Is this the change that we want? This man is relatively obscure. We don't know much about him. Even his business holdings, like that 99% profit margin claim, there's no transparency in his company to be able to confirm that number. So he is pushing here, according to this X post. He wants more transparency. He wants more equality, when that's not necessarily even true within his own company. So at this point, this is why I think it's a little more on the hostile side. Like, he's saying the things that the fans want to hear. Because, challenge me here. How many other Juve channels or any footy channels, they dive deep into this? And I know it's boring. Not everyone wants to watch this. But for those of you who are interested in this back end, how the business works, good on you. This is next level hardcore Juventini. Like, This is the future of our club. And just like if we keep the current management, we've seen that trajectory over the past 6 years, and quite honestly, I mean that ball started rolling a few years before then, even, right? Things don't just snap the finger and go. Sort of with the COVID thing, but I mean, 6+ years, let's say. This guy flies in here, takes control. Now, here's the thing. If he does do a hostile takeover at 51%, well, he still has 49% of the people working against him constantly, and there's always tension in the boardroom. You would have to almost just say, screw it, I'm buying the whole damn thing. And then technically, it becomes an American company. Tether being an American, right? Like, even though Paolo is from Torino, he is Italian, the company is American. And he's talking about moving and creating more within America. I know some of you are going to be, I don't know if he is pro-Trump or not, but the fact that he wants to create a new stablecoin based on Trump's pro-crypto stance, I don't know if that creates a political alignment or just a business opportunity. They're based out of El Salvador. That's right. They are based out of El Salvador. Thank you for the correction, Sal. This is what I need. If you want to come on, I know you're probably at work, but you are more so the man to be talking about this. If you want to jump on, I can always send you a link. Let me know. But yes, okay. So based out of El Salvador, the business is basically done within the U.S. though. It's a U.S. stablecoin. So, and I sort of apologize. I did this last minute because it just flew at me last minute. I'm gonna bring up a graphic that ChatGPT made me and did a not great job at, but kind of all right, if that makes sense. Because like just ignore like at the bottom here where there's the words aren't words anymore. But what is USDT? Just so you understand kind of what Tether is. And maybe we should have started at this. Like, what is Tether? Yeah, working closely with the Secretary of Commerce, I was saying. Lobbying Trump and Min. Yeah, all right. Yeah. So yeah, based in El Salvador, and that's probably for tax reasons and maybe even legal reasons. Transparency, right? Like we said, he's not the most transparent company. Or man. I don't know, Sal. I don't know if you can talk specifically about how the tax rules or the finances work out of El Salvador. That's definitely beyond my purview. But USDT, so this is the stable coin here. The $1 coin that makes 15 billion a year. And that's the whole concept, is that things like Ethereum, Bitcoin, they're not stable. They fluctuate all the time. And financial institutions, governments, a lot of people don't like instability in their money. Okay, so he's saying El Salvador is very friendly regulatory for blockchain. Okay. I'm sure I could ask ChatGPT. Let's do one thing at a time here though. I'm only one man today. I gotta keep her organized. This Trump comment is gonna lose you real quick. Like from Tether? Or are you talking about in the comments? Like, let's not get political here. We're just trying to explain the atmosphere around this deal, around this company. Right? Like, and sometimes unfortunately that means we have to get into politics, which normally is very controversial. But I understand political landscape right now is very tenuous. So no, we're not going to go down political rabbit holes. We're just going to touch on how it works within the social political landscape at this current moment. So yeah, let's just simmer on the political stuff. Put that one in bed. I don't care who you vote for. Whatever. I don't even live in that fucking country. Don't care. So essentially, going back to what USDT is, it's just a blockchain, a cryptocurrency that is supposed to directly relate to the value of the US dollar, which is, I mean, the most traded currency in the world, even though it might be a little shaky in recent months. It is, I mean, it's still one of the major currencies and the major buyer in the world, biggest economy, right? So it still makes sense to use this to make money, because why not use the biggest economy? Yes, Thomas is right. Whatever. If this is, I don't know, but people are out over trying to talk about the political landscape. I don't know. Yes, I do remember this. Sal's going on about El Salvador becoming the first country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. President is a huge believer in it. Yeah, that was a few years back now, like 2017. I can look that up. When did El Salvador adopt? Oh, it's 2021. It's very recent, 4 years ago. So yeah, that's their legal tender over there. For better or worse, obviously it was a bit rocky to begin with. I don't know how it's currently looking over there. And I mean, I'm not about to look into it live at the moment, get into El Salvador. Like, again, that's a little bit more arcane, and something we can maybe discuss in the Discord or somewhere else. Okay, so on that note, that's how Lord Arduino is making his money. He's got the stablecoin in the US. He's got 60% of the stablecoin share. And the guy's just making bank. So, make bank. You're now worth more than XOR completely. It's looking like. And he wants to control. I mean, this is a rich man thing to do. I can't even put any shade towards this, right? Like, you're worth billions of dollars. You're a fan of a football club, and you're like, screw it, I want to be in charge. This is how this typically works, right? Just rich dude wants bragging rights. I'm gonna buy stuff. Some just do it for bragging rights. Some actually care about the team and want it to succeed. This guy sounds like he does want it to succeed, and he's looking at the dumpster fire that is Juventus at the current moment. Okay, that's the state of the affairs. I want to get more into the Juve talk. This is still a JuvEssentials. So we spent 28 minutes here now just on the Tether talk. However, we're going to segue this transition so it's still somewhat relatable now. Because what has happened this past week, and now let's put a bit of context in it. Juve did just play Real Madrid. It was one of the biggest games played this season so far, honestly. It's one of the bigger ones, possibly the biggest this week. And it features the two most popular Turks currently, rising stars, literally starred there, Yildiz and Arda Güler. So, okay, cut to the chase. Kenan Yildiz. He is our most valuable. What is going to happen to him when teams like Real Madrid start knocking on the door and start offering big money? Now, he's not for sale, which is a lie, because, I mean, everyone's for sale for the right amount. They're saying 100 mil. I don't know if they'll get that at this moment. But he is clearly the kind of profile that you want to build a club around. Especially is like 20 years old. Starting with the club, I think he really broke out at like 18, 19, already with the club for a few years. And he's on the chopping block. Why? because the club has been so mismanaged the past few years that we are now in this situation. So this is where it comes back to Tether. Is Tether going to be the type of company owner, if they do so become, or even if it's just on the board of directors, are they the kind of guys that will work to fix this mess? Like the fact that we're talking about, even though he's not being sold, we're building the project around him, he's the captain, he's the number 10, or he's going to the moon, whatever. And now we can't even keep Yildiz. If we fail to make the Champions League, Yildiz will be gone. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's huge. And again, going back to the financial report, that is one of the reasons why the past few years haven't been the greatest, is because of failure to be in Europe, and that this previous year now, that's a whole bunch of extra money, 60 million, give or take. There's a big influx of extra money that you get, and that absolutely is probably the biggest contributor to your finances. Maybe your TV rights, depending on how well you do on the table, because Italy, you're not getting a whole lot. 70, 80, close to 100 if you win the league. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big chunk of your operating costs every year. So this is why, I mean, let me know how you feel about this as well. But this is kind of why I like that Tether is trying to get involved. I just like to see the shakeup. So I think the hostile takeover is going to be the best. I think it would be okay if you go 100%. I'm buying this club, because then you don't have that tension within the boardroom. But to go 51%, now you have that tension. You have that other 49%. If he's sticking around 15, maybe he bumps to 20, 25, I don't know. And then is able to secure a voice on the board of directors. And then maybe that's just enough. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not enough at all. And this is the thing that's so frustrating right now, is that we don't really know what the future holds. Whether that is our ownership, the board of directors, or if our main star, Kenan Yildiz, is going to be on the chopping block. Other names, Thuram, apparently looked at by Madrid. How much is he worth? Do we lose him? Camera again. All right. It's clear now that we become a selling club. When it's 3 games in the Champions League, match day 7 in the league, it's the end of October, we're talking about selling our top. And then this is what gets me upset now. Underselling club is more like it. We actually did okay recently this time, Eddie. Yes, I mean, historically, very much an underselling club for our players. I agree. But I mean, credit where it's due. That's one thing we've done a little bit better with Kamoli. He has demanded a bit more. So we'll see. That was one transfer window. We still don't know, and we've said this, right? Kamoli is still very much a bit of an unknown to us. He's only been around a few months. He's now the CEO. We still don't have a sporting director. That's another conversation. This is just unknowns. I am throwing a whole bunch of information at you guys right now and coming out saying we don't know, which is insane. Now, I'm going to throw out a name like João Mario. This is kind of funny and concerning all at the same time. Sorry, as I check my dog. It's tick season, so Whenever I see a little speck on my dog's head, gotta make sure it's not a dick. But anyways, who we selling? Dal says must have just flown in here. I mean, maybe Yildiz, maybe Thuram. Everyone's for sale essentially. Who we selling? Everyone. We don't make Champions League if if we can't get our heads out of our ass. We might as well be Sassuolo. So Joao Mario. Get rid of Cabal, get Joao, not Cabal. I'm getting my names. Man, who did we sell and then get for Joao Mario? My lord. Escaping me now. But we go get rid of Joao. Get Joao. And now he's not getting played, and apparently he's out of the plans. Like, why are we, even it's only a few million, it's only a few $1 million. We're struggling for it. Coop, David, Openda. Yeah, I know you don't like David. Openda, whatever. The fact of the matter is all of these players are able to play a game. But they're not playing the game. David and Openda aren't anyways, right? Joao Mario aren't. Coop, for some reason, is, and he shouldn't be. It's precarious. And yeah, and you guys are mentioning the league is dog shit. You're saying Napoli or Inter will lose. We will win back. We will win back the top. Yeah, okay. We should not. I hate when we compare shits. It's like we wake up in the morning, we both take a shit, and then I was like, oh, my shit looks better than your shit. Who cares? They're both pieces of shit. I mean, if that's what we're comparing ourselves to, that just reiterates the fact that we are in turmoil. Because it didn't matter at one point how good or how shit the league was. We still stuck to our standards. And that was the best. Now we're just going to go with the status quo. Like, come on. No, man. Yeah, we're shit in a shit league. So we don't know what's happening with any of these individuals at this moment. Yildiz is going to be, I mean, easy. Sell him off. Joao Mario, well, that seems like a flop at the moment. Not defensive enough. Well, oh my god, it's just the fact that Tudor thinks that he's not defensive enough, and then he puts just his defensive decision making sometimes is just it's embarrassing. I don't. It's just like fuck off, man. Like, don't give me that line. He's not defensive enough. You know what? When you're losing 2-0 already to Como, you need somebody to score a goal, maybe. Yeah, defensive. Score goals. You haven't scored in over 300 minutes, and you're talking about Buddy's not defensive enough. Score a goddamn goal, and then tell me somebody isn't defensive enough. Because we already know our defense is shit. Whatever. Score a goal. That one pisses me off. And then he goes and plays a guy like Coop, who has proved under Mota, who has proved under Tudor, that he is shit. And then who does this come back to? The decision making from the management. Who installs the management? The board of directors. Who is throwing a hissy fit because the new kid on the block with billions of dollars wants to come in and he's a true fan and wants to make the club great again. And he says, make Juve great again. He's got shit on social media saying that. As far as I can tell, he's the only one on that board, or potential members to be on that board, that does give a damn. Because if it comes down to the fact that we are going to lose people like Yildiz, I mean, probably say goodbye to Cambiaso, maybe a Thuram. Who else could we get rid of? I mean, Locatelli's probably sellable. You can definitely get rid of Chico and Zagrova and Openda. They're all resellable. Technically, he didn't buy Openda yet, but you know what I'm saying. Like, we can get rid of everyone. And yeah, no doubt it's not fully Tudor's fault. We've never fully blamed any one person, but it always goes to the top. And that's the theme of today. The top does need to be fixed. And there's a guy that wants to come in and fix it. Still, I don't know if he's the right guy. There's a guy out there that wants to come in and fix it, and they're saying no, and they're throwing up their arms and throwing a fit. So again, you guys tell me what you think is the correct way forward, what you prefer. If Paolo Arduino and his cronies, because it won't be him on the board. I don't have names handy. Maybe I can pull them up again. But he's got his people that he puts in there. Trying to find in my old notes. I can't get the names right off the top of my head right now. Okay, hold on. I do. Yes, I have the link actually. Just give me a quick second. Here we go. Tether appoints Dr. Francesco Gardino as the first candidate for the board of directors, and Zachary Leon, Deputy Chief Investment Officer, as the second candidate. So, those are his people. Well, I don't know. Let's see. Let's put these guys' names in here. Yeah, looks Italian. Security check required. Okay, let's go Cloudflare. All right, orthodontics. He's a foot doctor. Cool. All right. I don't really know why this guy is necessarily qualified for that position. Skills and expertise: aligners, intraoral scanners, digital technologies, self-ligating, DBCT, 3D printing, orthodontic appliance. I don't know what any. Oh, I know what some of that is. Medical imaging. All right. From the University of Padua, University of Turin. Italian. I'm not going to know medical terms in Italian. Jesus. What does this mean? Surgery. Chirurgia. Chirurgia? Oh, guys, you got to fix my Italian here. But yeah, I did not know the name for surgery in Italian. Clearly. All right. Here's the other guy. Zachary Leon. Bones is in. What's going on, buddy? Realtor. Let's put in Tether. I don't know. Thing Coin Central. They're talking about Tether here. But I mean, we don't know who this guy is at all, really. So that's what we're kind of. Not that we really know who these guys on the board of directors are in the first place, but we definitely I'm trying to look these guys up. I don't know, and it just brings back to the original point. Like, we just don't know what the future is. November 7th is the board meeting. We'll see if Tether can get in there, get their one or two of his guys up on board, and we'll see where the future takes us. What we can say about the future is Daniele Rugani. He needs some time. He needs some time in this show. Daniele Rugani getting his contract extension. All he wants to do, he's reported to say, he just wants to win another Scudetto with Juventus. He's a soldier. I love the guy. He's not the most skilled dude ever. Absolutely not. But he gets the job done. Yeah, and here's that post. Love it. Like, this is the energy. This is what we need more of in the club. Davide Torquia agent of Rugani. I can say this with certainty because we were talking about it just a few days ago. Daniele's dream is to be able to win another Scudetto with Juventus. Why not? He deserves it. Yeah, love it. All right. We'll give him his due in that one. Guardino was proposed as basically someone who gave a perspective on the board from a supporter standpoint. So is he a Juventus fan as well, Guardino? Axel, you know so much about this. You should be doing the show right now, honestly. Yeah, the players who love clubs are always the backup. Pinsolio. The blue collar guys, man. That's it. You just need just the blue collar dudes. Yeah, and Sal's confirming he is a lifelong fan. All right. Hopefully he has enough experience if he does get voted onto board to know what the hell to do on a board of directors. You know, because that's I wouldn't know what to do. I've never been on a board of directors. I used to sit there, look at some charts, drink coffee. Sure, there's more to it. I mean, I've seen Gary Glenn Ross, and I've seen what was it Wolf? Well, I've watched all those movies, the big wig financial. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Sal, what do you do on a board of directors? Leon has a strong background in financial strategy and investment management. Okay, now that sounds more like somebody I would put on a board of directors. Interesting. And thank you, Sal. I am loving the insight. Okay, now I gotta call this guy out. I'm calling this guy out. Juventus News Live. I've worked with him before. He's got some stupid takes. Gatti, Rugani, and Kelly. I mean, they actually did do a pretty good job. Where was it? Here, yeah, Rugani is the problem. When you roll out, it actually has Rugani bold. He's saying out of Gatti, Rugani, and Kelly that Rugani is the problem. Juve News Live, you're dumb. Just saying, you're dumb. Okay. That was, I feel like, a lot. And we haven't talked about Tudor. We haven't talked any game time stuff yet. And Tether ultimately wants Juve to integrate blockchain and AI technology into Juve operations. Now, I know blockchain is a very general term. So I'm interested to know how they would want to introduce blockchain. AI, I mean, that's also a very general term, but I could certainly use my imagination as to what that could be. And everywhere from diets, training, the financial part, game like strategy, tactics, AI players. Let's go. It's funny. Just before this, I was listening to The Race, which is a racing YouTube channel, about the AI drivers, the AI race cars that they're testing out. And that's right. The Chinese had robots play a match of footy as well. Did not turn out the greatest, but I mean, eventually it'll get there. Okay, let's talk a few minutes about Tudor. Oh, I feel like he needs his own show, and I'm kind of already tired of it. But Tudor's on the line. We know that. I almost feel like the results in Madrid bought him a bit because overall it wasn't the worst. In losing 1-0 at the Bernabeu when you could have potentially won, sure. Here's where I get hung up a little bit now. Maybe you can say I'm a little pessimistic about this. But Tudor and everyone close to the club, they're all saying, oh, they played a really good game. I mean, the result wasn't horrible at the end of the day, all things considered. And it was Madrid. And it's not the best version of Madrid, granted. Have you guys looked at the numbers? Have you seen the stat line? I mean, let's just bring it up. I know I post game this a little bit afterwards on Wednesday, but let's take a quick peek and at the stats and tell me if that looked like a good game. Momentum chart is all Madrid. Okay, stats. Oh, it's all Madrid. I mean, look at we got peppered. 28 shots, 10 on target, 13 and 4. Why is your quality so bad? Is it the feed? Let me check YouTube. Oh, it is. It could be my connection. Apologize. I live out in the boonies. That happens. I mean, it's the background is clear, so yeah, it's gonna be the internet connection. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I got some background shit to work on, clearly. Things are and you know what was weird? I rewatched the game stream this morning and I was clear, but the scoreboard was blurry. And that's not the first time it happens. That like just randomly happens where it's like only this part of the screen is gonna be blurry. But I digress. I mean, we're looking at the stats. We didn't play a good game. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to monologue again. I already did that on Wednesday. You can catch that if you want to hear me bitch and moan after another disappointment. Because I do feel like it was a disappointment. We could have. And I don't like what the players were saying. This whole like, yeah, we could have. We played a good game. We could have. But you didn't. And every other stat was shit. And you failed to do it. And yeah, I mean, you fought. You put up against the best in the world. And yes, you gotta take this mentality going forward. They had a meeting afterwards. We gotta continue like this. Sure. I mean, losing? Maybe I don't get it. Maybe I don't get it. Am I weird with this one? I don't think we played a good game. And if this is how we want to rally, like the type of game we want to rally around, like what am I missing here? It wasn't a good game. We lost. Don't care if it was Madrid. Don't care if it was at the Bernabeu. No, whatever. Make fun of me. I know I'm fucking up my language. We need to do better. And Tudor, I still think, is on the chopping block. Now, what I do find interesting is that there was nothing but Tudor out after the Como game, which is understandable. After the Madrid game, all quiet. Why, all of a sudden, is it quiet about Tudor's situation? We played the same as we played him in the Club World Cup. Yeah, like decent for against Madrid, but when you look at the numbers, not so good. And by the eye test too, like I watched the game. I was there. You were there with me. I didn't think there was anything special going on. So Tudor still on the chopping block. I won't monologue too much on the Tudor situation because it has quieted down right now. It is a little bit preemptive. They aren't likely to sack him if they are until the international break, which is it November 7th? Let's see. Fixtures. Okay, there's the November 8th game. So there, the Torino one after the November 8th. This is the time period. If he is going to get sacked, this one is most likely to happen. Still quite a ways away, honestly. Okay, so Anthony, our performance in Madrid is pathetic. Anyone who is happy with that doesn't understand Juve losing 1-0 to Real and we badly need points is heartbreaking. Exactly. Yeah. And whether it's the players, whether it's the coach, it's an issue. It's totally an issue. So without dwelling on that, I mean, next game up, right? We're at Lazio. Another away game. We have to perform. If we lose this game, what are we doing? Say a tie, maybe away. Sure, we can have a conversation about that, but do they bring whatever this mentality forward into the Lazio match? And then what? And then lose 1-0, or because it's Lazio, you might get a point out? I just don't understand this mentality. But I mean, let's break it down. I mean, we're not going to have the lineups yet. But quick stats: Lazio 6 goals in the last 5. Provedal's ranked 2 in saves per match in the competition. Castellanos is creating the most big chances for Lazio. Cool. Juve have only scored 3 goals in the last 5 matches. This is already off course. I'm scoring the last 3. Haven't won a match in 7 attempts. Looking at the form, we're loss, tie. They're tie, win, loss. Similar performance overall. They've had an easier schedule. I don't say overall. I mean, Como was supposed to be easy. Supposed to be. And you know, there's still so many questions. The one I'm very curious, I suppose, with how the social medias have really been going along with Juve this season. Because it's feast or famine. Like Monday, Tuesday, there was just news coming out everywhere. And now, like, we're playing a game in less than 48 hours. Nothing. We're talking about Tether. No proposed lineup. Yeah, sure, Moretti's back. Is he? I don't know. Is Zagrova going to play? I don't know. There's nothing out there, man. There's nothing. So we can only speculate. We will know tomorrow at 3:45 Eastern who's getting dressed for the match. But as it is now, like, your back line, yeah, it's going to be Kelly, Rugani, Gatti. Your midfield, Locatelli, I'm going to assume, goes back in. Locatelli, Thuram, I hope. Cambiasso and Kalulu out wide, sure. Maybe put Joao Mario in at one point. Maybe give Kalulu some rest there. I don't know. Just thinking. Then up top, yeah, Yildiz, Chico. Is it Grover ready to go? Yildiz could probably use a little bit of a rest if we can get away with it. And then I would put David up with Vlahovic as the super sub. I mean, easy. Easy peasy. Looking at Lazio now, of course, fought mob. They're just going to show the last game what they put out, 4-3-3. But we know what Lazio is. We can certainly beat these guys. We typically do. Let's look at the head-to-head. Yeah. 28 wins, 6 draws, 8 losses to Lazio. So we should win this game. But once again, we're talking about, like, well, we don't know. This is going to be a tough game on way to Lazio. Stadio Olimpico, they take ACLs. Because the state of the fair. And there's no confidence. I don't have any confidence coming out of Madrid. Just like we talked about, that they're happy about that performance and they need to continue to play with that. Well, okay. Continue. Let's see what we get. Anthony saying that winning in Rome would be devastating. Lazio is riddled with injuries too. Yeah, let's look at those. Putting Kalulu at right wing back is like putting Where's Waldo book in front of Stevie Wonder. Okay, here's their injuries. Cancelliere, Nuno Tavares, Luca Pellegrini, Samuel Gigot, Isao Dele Bashiru, Nicolo Rovella, and Valentin Castellanos. Yeah, those are some big names in there as well. So this comment kind of goes back to what we're saying here. Is like, man, Juve stinks, Forza Inter. And you're going to come in and just say stinks? Like, use adult words. Like, at least call this murder, whatever, stink. Oh, you guys stink. Are we in fucking kindergarten? Let's go. If you're going to shit on me hard. But yeah, going back to that last comment, it's like we both took a shit in the morning and we compared our shits. And it's like, oh, my shit's better than your shit. No, we are both shit right now, buddy. Inter, Juve, the whole Serie A. If you think you're good, you're not. Yes, you may be better than Juve at the current moment, the table. Sure, okay, whatever. But at the end of the day, you're still a pile of shit. So chill out. And maybe one of us will make it to the knockout stages in the Champions Leagues if we're good enough. But anyways, I mean, guy, I mean, anyone's welcome. Just know if you're gonna fling shit, you better be good at it. I mean, you're 3-0. Oh, you're talking in the Champions League. Yeah. Gotcha. And still, pile of shit. So like what you're saying right now is you're that nice formed shit that just slides out and it's a no wiper, and then mine's a little bit messy in the morning. That's it. That's the only difference between us right now. So 5-0 is all I remember. Here you go, Sal. All right. So just a bit of banter there with some Inter fans. That's fine. I'll always welcome that. It has been a depressing show overall. I mean, what do you want me to say? This whole show was kind of talking about our poor state of affairs at the moment, right? So I'm not gonna be like, no, we're not shit. I mean, we kind of are. No, Lazio and Rome. No, man, you're just saying dumb shit because you want to be anti-Juve, but like, don't be dumb. Like Lazio and Roma should not be there. You know, like be reasonable. Like I know you're a fan and you're biased. I get it, but like, dude. Inter played Ajax, who's bad right now. Union Saint-Gilloise is, I mean, they're good for Belgium, and some other potato farmer team I can't even remember. Dude, we are in the same category. What are you talking? You remember that Inter lost to us this season? We're comparing piles of shit, brother. Fill the fuck out. I mean, you're not that good. We all agree that Juve sucks, but Inter also fucking sucks, dude. Don't get ahead of yourself. Oh, and Boyan's here. I saw you go hard on Elkin this week on X. I don't know if you're here at the beginning of the show, but I think you're all for maybe a bit of a hostile takeover from Tether. I don't know, Boyan. What do you think? But yeah, I mean this is the game going forward into Sunday. Just of note as well. So this is the weekend where Europe changes their clock forward or back rather, and North America still has not. So this is going to be, I believe, still the 8:40. So it's going to be 5-hour difference for a week. So in Europe, it is still the 8:45 match, but instead of us going at 2:45 in North America, it's going to be 3:45 Eastern. So don't screw that up this weekend, guys. Understand there's going to be some time differences going there. This happens twice a year, every year. And I mean, like, I've seen content creators work with people from Europe and just like tell them to be off by an hour because they just don't know, right? So just remember. Is that Gasparini in your photo? Probably just an Atalanta fan or something. Roma. Yeah, are you even an Inter fan? You're confusing. And why do you need to say your name is Zoe? Just say Zoe. No, we understand. You think you just treat everyone like we're idiots? We know your name is Zoe. Just put Zoe. But anyways, I mean, I love when people just pick and choose the information, the stats, the data that they want to like make for their argument, and just completely all the other data that goes completely against their argument, thinking that nobody's going to notice. Yeah, I mean, Conte was funny when he was mad. Max is funny when he's mad. I'm funny when I'm mad. Put a photo of me on your fucking. I mean, okay, cool. I mean, that's it. So, guys. That's the pregame. I have as much insight into this game that Tudor has. That is to say, fucking zero. No, it's not. It's not facts, though, right? Because facts, it's partial facts. Sure, it's facts, but it's partial facts. Which is to say, it's not fucking facts if you don't have the whole story. At least not how we work in this community. Because it's, I mean, you got to lay it all out on the table. We're here on a show today, trashing our own team, bringing out the stats. I just expect the same for everyone. That's all. Donut Gaming, KB. Yeah, and you were streaming Battlefield during the Madrid game, so I'm calling you out on that. At the final, you guys got pounded 5-0, the worst feed. Yeah, everyone knows they lost the worst way possible ever in history. Oh, and my camera. Fun. All right, I'm back. All right, I mean, we went for an hour and 5, hour and 6 now, so I think that's pretty good for today. We're gonna come back. We are streaming at 3:45 Eastern time, still on daylight time in North America. Fuck it up, guys. So yeah, we'll see you for the Lazio game. Hopefully joined by Dave. Hopefully he's better. Thoughts and prayers to Dave. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with me on a Friday afternoon, talking about some fairly serious financial board of directors, all that jazz. And I mean, kudos to Sal for posting those articles, for correcting my ignorance as well throughout the stream. Oh, look, he keeps on yelling out Esposito, however you want to pronounce it. It sounds like another guy that glazes very young boys. Sounds like another content creator I know, Adjich as well. Yeah. You know what I'm talking. So on that note, guys, thank you very much. My camera is completely shit the bed at this point, so perfect timing nonetheless. Like and subscribe. We are on YouTube, Twitch, X, Instagram, and Kick, and I will be uploading this to Spotify afterwards. All the links down in the description. Follow us however you choose, and be sure also catch us on the Discord to continue this conversation, especially because Sal is in the Discord. Here's a QR code for it as well. Sal's in there. Ask him all the questions. Let's get learn more about this. And I guess Forza Inter from Zoe. But I'm going to say a Forza Juve. And most importantly, Blue Jays, Dodgers, Game 1 of the World Series happening in 3 hours. Go Jays. And Forza Juve.